Good evening and a warm welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguela. We'll begin with legislative affairs, the confirmation of new service chiefs, consideration of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and the Petroleum Industry Bill will be among the immediate preoccupation of the National Assembly when it reconvenes on Tuesday, 9th of February 2021. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, stated this during an interaction with National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwa, who now reports.
Plenary in both chambers of the National Assembly on Monday, 21st December 2020 was the last for the year, and the passage of the 2021 appropriation bill was the reason for the special sessions. 6 weeks after, the legislators are expected back to the chambers. Confirmation of the newly appointed service chiefs and some bills have been scheduled for immediate consideration. This includes a constitution amendment, Electoral Act Amendment, and the Petroleum Industry Bills.
To pass the various provisions or bills for the alteration of the various provisions of the Constitution.
The PIB, that the Petroleum Industry Bill, we are committed to passing it this year. We are going to find a mixture of obeying non-pharmaceutical control of the virus, social distance, the use of masks, caution. All of this will implement by 100%.
The Petroleum Industry Bill, conceived during the Olusegun Obasanjo administration in 2000, which has the potential to reform Nigeria's oil and gas sector, open up the industry, attract investors, and give adequate attention to host communities, has struggled to see the light of the day for more than a decade. Its courtship with the 6th Assembly did not go beyond second reading. The 7th Assembly passed it late into the Goodluck Jonathan administration and was not assented to, while the 8th Assembly broke the bill into 4 versions and passed the governance version, but did not receive presidential assent as well due to some critical observations made by the executive.
I'm very, very optimistic this will pass this time. That's the advantage of collaborating with the executive with mutual respect. You can do a lot more for citizens.
The corrections having been effected, the 9th Assembly is poised against all odds to break the jinx and pass the bill into law, as it has passed second reading at the moment and has also been subjected to public hearing.
We will pass the PIB, but we will ensure that businesses here get a very competitive environment, that they are able to make profits and stay and even invest more.
There is a need to quickly pass the PIB within the window of 30 years that we have before the world goes away from hydrocarbons to renewables.
The enactment of the Petroleum Industry Bill into law is long overdue. It has seen Nigeria incur losses from regulatory uncertainties in the sector, with some individuals and companies taking advantage of the legal loopholes. Ignatius Onkwa, NTA News.
Ahead of the flag-off of the groundbreaking ceremony for the Kano-Maradi rail line project, construction work has started at one of the communities in Katsina State where the rail line will pass through. Oina Kaloka will tell us more.
This is Kwarintama, a remote village of majorly farmers in Katsina local government, Katsina State. It is one of the villages that the line for the Kano-Maradi railway project will pass through. With equipment rolled out, the quiet village is now busy with activities. For the locals, they watch with keen excitement and hope. We are very happy about this project. This is development for us. This project will be of benefit to us, our children and grandchildren. The Kano-Maradi railway project, passing through 3 states of Kano, Jigawa, Katsina, Maradi in Niger Republic, is designed to pass close to major cities, towns and villages without dividing them. Oyinaya Kalo-Oka, NTA News.
And in the meantime, traders along the corridor of the Kano-Maradi rail line continue to speak on the economic value of the project initiated by the Nigeria and Niger Republic to facilitate trading activities. Once again, Oyinaya Kalo-Oka reports.
Mayor John is a spare part dealer who has been in the business for more than 15 years. Same with Abbas Sani, a trader in grains at the central markets in Katsina. Both traders have one thing in common: to make profits, but facilitating the movement of their products from one state to another and neighboring countries has been a Herculean task.
A truck that will bring you a goods from Lagos to here will pay more than less than 500,000. It's too expensive. So it makes the goods now to be more expensive here.
Allah, it's very too cost. It's too expensive. Even the bag of oil is supposed to buy it at last 1,500 per bag. From Maradi to here, 1,500 by each bag.
With the coming of the railway project, traders like Mayor and Abbas are optimistic that it will change the narrative.
It will help us to bring in our goods.
I think if the coming of this railway, the come must come too easy for us.
This is an advancement for us. It will help us in transporting goods as the roads are bad. The Kano-Maradi rail line project is expected to facilitate public transportation and to stimulate the development of agricultural economy and manufacturing industries along the corridor. Oyinaya Kalo-Oka, NTA News.
And in readiness for this major project for economic development for Nigeria and the Sahelian community, joining us via Zoom now is Antonio Grassa. He's the project manager, Nigeria Rail Line. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, tell us about the benefits of this rail project linking Nigeria and Niger Republic. To put it straight, what are Nigerians going to be gaining out of this project?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you this opportunity to be with you, and we can expose our perspective of this so important project for Nigeria and also for Niger. So what we can say is, in fact, that this project can connect the inland African with the littoral Atlantic coast. So it in fact means that all the people normally they cannot access to the ports with goods and with equipments and also with agricultural products. Now with this line between Maradi, Niger, and also Lagos, they can export, they can make trading, and they can transport themselves with more easier. So what we can say about the project in the roughly terms is that in fact we will have 21 stations, two major stations in Katsina and Kano. Also Maradi will be an important station. And the project, the line will be in the total with a connection to Dutse, 378 kilometers, and represents.
Okay, Mr. Antonio, we seem to have lost signal there. Let's see if we can fix that and return to him. Okay, he's back. I hear he's back. Mr. Antonio, go ahead. But before you continue with that, let me just go straight to the next question. What about the completion of this project? I know Nigerians are curious. Is it going to be delivered as expected? Because usually we know we have seen projects on infrastructure like this slated for a specific period of time and later extended. And sometimes we hear contractors deliberately do that. But what is it going to be?
Yeah, we intend to, our intention is, of course, if we expect the things are going well and everything in place, we will have here at 36 months. It means 3.5 years. So we intend to employ more than 5,000 local labor. And of course with some experts, but not so much, but less than 10% of the total amount of the labor. So, but I would like to focus, I think one thing very important for the economy and for the security of people, because when we have a rail, we can afford a huge amount of money concerning to the roads, the maintenance of roads, and with the less hours you spend to connect one point to another. In roughly terms, we estimating more than $50 million of benefit with this rail in the direct impact to the life of the people. So another important impact also is in the environment, because you see the CO2. With this investment, the CO2 is less than when you use car trucks and expending fuel and this kind of thing. So this is healthy terms, social aspect, social impact, development internal of the country. This is the major impact, social impact and economic impact, major impact of this project.
All right, thank you very much, Antonio Grasser. He's the project manager, Niger Rail Project. Thank you very much. And yes, there you have it, 36 months. That's the timeline he's given us. All right, let's look at other issues. Thank you. President Muhammadu Buhari has written to his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of bilateral ties between Nigeria and the People's Republic of China. In the letter, the president expressed satisfaction with the progress made so far and thanked China for its support to Nigeria on defense and infrastructural development. President Buhari also rejoiced with Chinese people across the world as they commence celebrations marking the new Chinese Year of the Ox on February 12th this year. A look at education. Federal Ministry of Education is making efforts to upgrade the country's 110 unity schools to standards in tune with emerging global trend. As a prelude to the agenda, a four-day meeting between the ministry and principals of all unity schools is on the way in Abuja on how the restructuring of the education system is going to meet up with the requirements of the present challenges. Abdullahi Musa Suleja reports that issues such as living with the new normal occasioned by COVID-19, ascendancy of digital age, ICT, e-learning took center stage.
Need the collective support, cooperation, and sincere commitment of all our key players, especially you, our principals at the Federal Unity Colleges.
We also need upgrading of our ICT facilities with internet access to meet the needs of these challenging times.
We as administrators, we have to force the students on a daily basis to make sure that they observe the COVID-19 protocols.
The principals are expected to key into the ministry's vision, Education for Change, a ministerial strategic plan to further improve the performance of the sector in the overall development of the country. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has assured the leadership of the All Progressives Congress of adequate mobilization for massive participation of Kano people in the ongoing membership revalidation and registration exercise. He gave the assurance during the flag-off of the exercise at Ganduje village in Kano State. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
This formally marks the commencement of APC membership revalidation exercise in Kano State. Governor Ganduje's participation at his polling unit was witnessed by party leaders and key stakeholders. Its conduct in a ceremonial way is to encourage massive participation of members and registration of new ones. This, the governor assured, is a task that will be accomplished under his leadership.
Here in Kano State, we, the most popular state in Nigeria, the biggest democracy in Nigeria, we are expected to produce the largest number of APC followers.
Assurance of support towards successful conduct of the exercise was given by key stakeholders, including the majority leader of the House of Representatives, Alhassan Adodogwa, senators and party leaders. Chairman of the Membership Revalidation Committee, Kabiru Ibrahim Matazu, expressed satisfaction with preparations made by Kano State chapter of the APC for the exercise. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
In a related development, Niger State Governor and National Chairman, APC Membership Registration and Revalidation Committee, Abubakar Sani Bello, has flagged off the exercise in North Central Zone with his own membership revalidation at Alkali Mustafa Unit, Central Ward, Kontongura, local government area of Niger State. Well, the exercise, which will positively alter the party style and structure, is adopting the bottom-up process, thus from the ward level upward, in order to encourage active involvement of all in the policies and programs of the party. Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who says every eligible individual interested in joining the party will be duly registered. He also noted that complaints about insufficient materials in some units will be addressed. The exercise was monitored by the Chairman, North Central Zone Supervisory Committee of the APC Membership Registration and Revalidation Exercise, Senator Osita Izunasu.
So the only way to open the gates for them is to allow for an exercise like this to validate and to register new members. We will continue to encourage you to join our party. We will continue to do whatever it takes for APC to win the hearts of Nigerians.
So far, so good. It has been very successful, particularly in Niger State. The only major complaint, they have said that there are insufficient materials, which we are going to address, because everybody that wants to be registered will be registered.
Right, let's go on a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College JOS invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Intermediate online news reporting skills. Date 1st March to 12th March 2021. 2 weeks. Studio lighting indoor and outdoor. Date 1st March to 5th March 2021. 1 week. Modern trends in broadcast media marketing. Date 15th March to 9th April 2021. 4 weeks. Understanding public service rules and mastering the art of standard minute writing, reports, memoranda, and briefs. Date 15th February to 12th March 2021. 4 weeks. The course fee for the 4-week courses is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for the 2-week course is 80,000 naira, while the course fee for the 1-week course is 40,000 naira only. Accommodation inclusive. Venue for all the courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, JOS. For more inquiries, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College, JOS. Training you to be the best you want to be.
Good to have you there. And now we're heading straight to Lagos to join Michael. Michael, it's your turn.
Thank you, Ruth. The federal government is now relenting in its quest to ensure that the welfare of refugees, migrants, and internally displaced persons, as well as persons with special needs, are adequately catered for. This was showcased at the flag-off of distribution of care and maintenance items to persons of concern in Lagos. Dana Ajali reports.
They are made up of various groups and students from special schools located in Surulere local government area of Lagos State. Their joy knew no bounds as they went home with various food items and other valuables.
Big thank you to federal government of Nigeria for remembering the less privileged people.
We received 100 kg bag of maize and 100 kg bag of millets.
May God continue to bless you in every ways of your life.
Like other beneficiaries, this young man, Karim Ishola, a student of Bethesda Home for the Blind, expressed gratitude to the federal government for the gesture.
We are so much delighted to know that even in this great pandemic, we are in their plans.
Zonal Director, Southwest, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Margaret Ukegu, urged well-meaning Nigerians to support the federal government to continually put smiles on the faces of the needy.
We do a lot of trainings, we do empowerment trainings, and then we even empower them after the training. Wants to ensure that our persons of concern are adequately taken care of.
To be able to sustain their livelihoods, to be able to improve upon their lives, and this is what we have been doing.
I believe by God's grace, after the education, we are giving help. And I believe already we have been doing something like that. But we not relent, we still do more.
The gesture is expected to be replicated in various states across the country. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The subsequent effect of coronavirus gave rise to the executive order mandating Nigerians to comply with the safety protocols as well as preventive measures. As Nigeria currently battles the second wave, Lineneke takes a look at the role of the people in curtailing the virus.
When the nation came out of total lockdown, new sets of guidelines were clearly spelled out and backed with enabling law, making it compulsory for Nigerians to stay safe. They include washing of hands, use of sanitizer, wearing of face mask, and social distancing. Sadly today, safety habits are ignored, which explains the daily spike in figures. As at now, Lagos remains the epicenter of the disease, yet a large number of residents go about their businesses as though there is no killer virus in circulation.
People no longer give chance for anything again. You go to the market, you see everybody loitering around. I see people organize parties. The organized wedding party, very good birthday party.
Commercial buses, for instance, convey 100% passenger capacity, even with hike in fares.
They give them warning before that they be not less than, maybe the bus that carries 7, there should be less than 4. But now they don't even follow the rules.
And that's when we try to curtail the effects of transport sector being the ones spreading this COVID.
Clubhouses, event centers, and other public facilities also care less as they admit more than the specified number of persons. Although the police have been hunting down violators, this disturbing increase in positive cases has forced the state government to take stiffer actions.
Take personal responsibility. And we'll continue to say, if you need not take a trip, if you need not go to somewhere, please stay back. Use other means of communication.
Medical experts have continued to urge Nigerians to take responsibility for their safety, while some others are suggesting more sanctions against offenders.
The distance is 2 meters apart, and we've got to learn that as Lagosians. Keep your distance. You, as a person who doesn't want to catch COVID, be conscious of who is around you and tell somebody who is getting too close to you, please, practice social distancing.
Even if we don't have a mutant that is more variously contagious, we will continue to see increasing number. So we do need to reduce parties or stop partying. We can do Zoom parties. We can, of course, also do several different ways of meeting.
It is widely believed that adherence to COVID-19 protocols remains the sure remedy aside the vaccines. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
We have more stories on Nationwide, but we'll be coming from our Abuja studio with Ruth.
Thank you, Michael. And we're leading also, let's say, continuing with the COVID updates. The 2,000 COVID-19 marshals saddled with the responsibility of sensitizing people and enforcement of coronavirus protection protocols in Kano have begun in earnest. Now, this followed spike in the number of cases and deaths due to the deadly virus in the state and how the public are downplaying the severity of the second wave. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports that mobile courts have been set up to adjudicate on any protocol violations.
I believe corona will not come anywhere close to me.
Indeed, the statistics of the new confirmed cases of novel coronavirus in Kano State showed that the deadly virus is back and the public are taking it light. Experts, however, believe the current wave is 3 times higher and fatal than it was in the past. To make the situation more worrisome, many residents in the city live in denial with society trust deficit. It is on account of this that the state government resorted to the establishment of COVID-19 marshals who began sensitizing and educating public on the prevalence of the virus, going round with sanitizers and handing out face masks to people on major roads, house to house, and markets.
This is the right thing to do. Wear your masks.
It's really good now because it's really serious for COVID-19. So we have to be careful.
In the same vein, Kano State Chief Judge Justice Nur Segir Umar has inaugurated 21 face masks mobile courts who are given the powers to adjudicate on any violations of wearing of masks in the state. The mobile court swung into action with the help of other security agencies, where 25 persons were arrested. They will have to pay a fine of 5,000 naira or face 6 months imprisonment, with the hope that this woman will come to believe coronavirus does not discriminate. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Karai, NTA News.
And still staying in Kano in a struggle to put a lid on wild and baseless conspiracy theories on COVID-19 vaccine, the Islamic Forum of Nigeria has organized a symposium on the deadly virus to sensitize the public on the efficacy of the vaccine as well as its safety. Yohana Suhasan Barao reports that the conference attracts medical experts, Islamic and traditional leaders.
It is an established fact that the coronavirus pandemic has impacted negatively on all sectors the world over. According to Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center, the virus has infected more than 100 million people globally, with recorded deaths running to 2 million, Nigeria having its own share of about 2 million people. In a bid to stem the tide against the spread of the disease following its second wave, the Islamic Forum of Nigeria deemed it fit to sensitize the public through imams of various mosques, traditional leaders and women groups.
They speak to millions of people on a weekly basis. They need to have a very good understanding based on clear proofs.
People should go ahead and take it, because this is protection of life, this is protection of health, which in Islam is regarded as one of the fundamental absolutes.
Something that it's sort of optional. I think for us to be able to control COVID, we do need to have widespread vaccination throughout the country.
Binta Muhammad and Saleh Adamu Kwaru are among the participants who said the Knowledge Ghana has cleared the air on the controversies behind the vaccine and pledged to disseminate the information to the larger society.
I believe every participant that is here too is also well informed, and we'll go back to our environment, to our community, and continue to educate people. It
is expected that the Enlightenment campaign will go a long way in convincing more people, as the target is to immunize more than 70% of the population for it to be effective in curbing the spread. In Kano, Yahana Sahasambaro, NTA News.
And let's bring you the latest update on COVID-19. New figures by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control indicates that 506 new COVID-19 infections have been recorded in the country in the last 24 hours. Nigeria's caseload stood at 139,748. The breakdown shows that the new infections occurred in 19 states and the FCT. Ondo State recorded the highest cases of 90, Kwara 89, Rivers 53, Borno 45, Gombe 32, FCT 28, Imo 26, Ogun 25, while Lagos recorded a drastic drop to 22 cases. Kaduna and Kano have 14 cases each, Edo 13, Osun 11, Cross River 10, Yobe 9, Ekiti 7, Kebbi and Nasarawa 6 cases each, Oyo 5 and Jigawa 1 case. There are now 26,223 active cases nationwide. 113,525 of Nigeria's total confirmed COVID-19 cases have been discharged, while the death toll is now 1,667. Benin will be our next stop, and Ogochuka will guide us.
Thank you, Ruth. Good afternoon. The Edo State Judicial Panel of Inquiry for Victims of SARS brutality and other related abuses has reviewed the case of an 11-year-old boy who was a victim of stray bullets which hit his genitals when some police officers allegedly shot sporadically during the End SARS protest. Ifeoma Okafor has this and other proceedings by the panel this Monday.
Other petitions brought before the chairman of the panel, retired Justice Ada Eyiamusoy, borders on oppressive and unlawful detention and violation of fundamental human rights of one Emmanuel Igbogiun by the police. Another is the case of false allegation and perversion of justice by one Kutis Egosa, among others. When the counsel to the 11-year-old victim of gunshots, Mercy Ofure Ogbeide, brought the first hearing of the case, the chairman of the panel immediately reviewed the case in favor of the victim, Osasu Omoigui.
Because for the first time, first of its kind, where a matter coming up for the first time for hearing, the panel immediately reviewed the case. And then, of course, surprisingly, also out of the goodwill of their hearts, made financial contributions to the victim.
Say, make God help me, make government help me, because the way when I don't suffer for long, when me with I don't suffer, money when we don't spend, and I borrow money till they take care of and they go.
Meanwhile, other counsels in the cases and victims of the NSAS protests are praying for justice to be served.
Compensation should be afforded our clients, and then he needs a public apology from the DPO Ogida police station for the bad behavior of his men.
Came to the panel to help me to get justice, and I need financial assistance so I can take good care of myself, because the hole is still in my leg. The gunshot hole is still on my leg.
The panel sitting continues. In Benin, Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
And about 300,000 kilograms of substances suspected to be cannabis sativa have been recovered in a raid by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Edo State, in a forest in Owan West local government area of the state. Ifeoma Okafor again reports that some suspects, including the chairman of the Vigilante of Upeju community, have been apprehended.
This is NDLEA Edo State Command, and these are some of the suspects arrested in connection with the crime, and according to the state commander, that they will soon be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. The men of the command had recently raided a forest stocked with bags of substances suspected to be cannabis sativa worth over 1 billion naira. The state commandant NDLEA Buba Wakawa attributes the success of the operation to intelligence gathering by the command over time.
It was not easy. It was very challenging because we had to pack and trek for hours before having access into the village. There was shootouts between my men, the army, and the other thugs on the other side. But with the superior firepower, we were able to overpower them and had access to the warehouse. And in the process, they abandoned 2 pump actions and a double barrel, which we recovered.
The command says this is the largest single concentration of cannabis sativa discovered by the command. In Benin, Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
And as our contribution to Nationwide today, the news continues in Abuja. Ruth, it's back to you.
Thank you, Ogochikuka. Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered that the rearrangement of former Abia State Governor Orji Uzor in an alleged 7.1 billion naira laundering charges be put on hold pending the resolution of the legality of the retrial. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chumuba tells us more.
Justice Inyang Eko of the Federal High Court has temporarily halted the retrial of the former Abia State Governor Orji Uzor over alleged 7.1 billion naira corruption charges, ruling on an ex parte application filed by the former Abia State Governor seeking the leave of court to file a motion against his retrial. Justice Eko said the Senate Chief Whip has placed sufficient materials of value before the court to enable him secure permission for judicial review of his trial in charges in which he had been tried, convicted, and sent to Kuje prison in Abuja, where he spent some months. Justice Eko, in addition, granted him permission to apply for order of perpetual injunction against the federal government through the EFCC to prohibit his retrial to avoid suffering double jeopardy. He consequently gave Orji Uzor 7 days within which to file and serve EFCC all processes he intends to use to challenge the legality of the trial. The matter comes up on the 23rd of February for mention.
This order is just to give us permission to file a motion on notice for the court to determine whether it is fair for EFCC to start trying this man a second time.
The case of money laundering and criminal diversion of funds to the tune of 702 million naira against Doyin Okube, former senior special assistant to former President Goodluck Jonathan, also came up for hearing. In Abuja, Vera Chumuba, NTA News.
Well, finding a common front against Nigeria's enemies across ethnic and religious lines should be the goal of all Nigerians for the country to tackle its security, economic and social challenges. Now, this was the submission of Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State during his official visit to Jigawa State for the inauguration of Township Roads project at Babura local government area, the country home of Governor Mohammed Badaru Abubakar. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
We preach peace, we preach love, we preach unity, we preach one Nigeria. Nothing can divide us as long as this nation is concerned.
Governor David Umahi says the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable, hence political leaders must stand united to address the perceived unhealthy inter-ethnic conflict caused by shared sentiments and stereotyping of one group of citizens against the other. He described his coming to Jigawa State as a positive move to reinvigorate the long-standing cordial relationship between the southeast and the northern region. The southeastern governor observed that challenges of insecurity fueled by those who do not mean well for the country has further divided the Nigerian citizens along ethnic, religious and regional sentiments, derailing the nation from the path of progress.
All over every part of Nigeria, you have good people, you have bad people. But criminality will never be ascribed to any particular tribe or religion. So we assure you that those of your people that are living with us, we are making every effort to safeguard them.
He is the leader in the southeast that comes out to say we are not in support of those people trying to create war in this land, that are trying to molest Fulani, that are trying to molest Hausas in there. And he said, we as leaders of the southeast, we are not in support of these people, and we will fight those people that are fighting our people from the north.
Governor David Umahi's inauguration of the 12.4 kilometers of Babura Township roads with drainages and streetlights is fourth in the series of similar exercise carried out by 3 other governors in less than 5 months. Leaders of Igbo community in Jigawa State also witnessed the events, emphasizing the need for stronger unity among Nigerians to aid national development. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
In Plateau State, we hear its inspection of projects for rural communities. Well, Zenret is set to tell us about it.
Thank you, Ruth, and good afternoon and welcome to JOS. Rural communities in Plateau State facing health challenges will soon heave a sigh of relief as long legacy projects being executed to improve their well-being are nearing completion. Red Sylvanus Lot has more.
Over the years, access to quality health services has remained a challenge, particularly in rural communities. Worried over the situation, the state government took concrete steps to address the issue by embarking on the construction of general hospitals in Riom, Kanke, and Mabudi. Some of the projects like model secondary and primary schools are nearing completion, while work on others have advanced.
The government of Governor Lalong has decided that not exceeding February, these projects will be completed. They will be completed, ready for furnishing and equipment.
From what I've seen so far, I can see like in Riom here now is over 70% completion, and I'm sure we should be commissioning this project as soon as possible. I'm looking at between April to see that this project is commissioned, and from what I've seen, we are going to be hitting the ground running.
While inspecting the projects, the contractor assured speedy completion, adding that they will be delivered to government in line with contractual agreements. In Jos, Rinred Sylvanus Lot, NTA News.
Plateau State citizens have been advised to put aside their ethnic and religious differences and work towards peace and development of the state. Governor Lalong was speaking at the Interdenominational Church service to commemorate the 3rd Plateau Day of Forgiveness and Reconciliation. Priscilla Grumnan reports that the event held at the St. Louis Catholic Church, Jos.
Plateau State government has set aside the 7th day of February every year to mark the Day of Forgiveness and Reconciliation after a series of ethno-religious crises that engulfed the state in the time past. Governor Simon Lalong said the Day of Forgiveness is part of the state government's roadmap to peace and reassured citizens that government is alive to its responsibility.
I wish again to apologize to all people that suffered one loss or the other, and to ask for your forgiveness.
In his homily, Most Reverend Matthew Audu admonished believers to shun anger and bitterness, but seek true forgiveness in their dealings with one another.
It is time. Let us come together. Christians or Muslims, one tribe or the other.
The interdenominational and interreligious gathering provided a platform for key players who emphasized the need for citizens to bury the past and forge ahead.
Our prayers is for peace to reign in Plateau State. Be it Christian or Muslim, Buddhist or Hindu, in one way or the other, forgiveness is emphasized and is fundamental to our faith.
Prayers were offered for healing, reconciliation, and peace of Plateau State and Nigeria. From the St. Louis Catholic Church in Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
That's it from this end. Nationwide will continue with Adebola in Ibadan after this break.
Still watching Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. Welcome to Ibadan. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has asked the governing board of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, to reform the scheme in line with modern realities. The governor gave the charge while receiving governing board delegation led by its chairperson, Fatima Bala Abubakar, at the government house, Agodi, Ibadan. Ayomiko Ajibola has details.
Receiving the NYSC Governing Board delegation, Governor Seyi Makinde said his administration will continue to provide facilities that will make operations at the permanent rotation camp conducive. The Oyo State Governor noted further that the NYSC scheme has continued to be a source of personnel for the state, especially from the health sector.
We hope to support the NYSC in Oyo State
appreciating the Oyo State government's numerous intervention in improving the situation at the NYSC camp, as well as the increment of core members' allowance. Chairman Governing Board of NYSC commended Governor Seyi Makinde for approving the construction of additional hostel accommodation in the camp.
We are also aware that you have approved for the supply of 500 bunk beds.
The team of NYSC Governing Board was on a visit to inspect the state NYSC permanent orientation camp at Isheyin. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
In its efforts to bring succor to the needy, the federal government, through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, has embarked on training for the vulnerable at the internally displaced camp in Kishi, Irepo local government area of Oyo State. Kayode Oladoshu has details.
Simon Agere, a native of Benue State, was displaced about 7 years ago as a result of communal clash. His hopes and aspirations were, however, rekindled through the training provided by the federal government.
To improve us, to give us some skills so that we know how to bring income, not only to use money.
After this, I want to be a trader, so I want to open my shop and we'll be staying there.
For these ones and many other displaced persons at this IDP camp who are beneficiaries of the empowerment in barbing and hairdressing, it was an opportunity for better living standard made possible through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons.
What the Commission has been able to provide for them, they should take care of the equipment so that they can earn a living through that. Those who are into barbing salon, it's just the beginning of their lives.
The Commission also promised to provide the trainees with equipment needed to start up their businesses at the end of their training. From Kishi, Irepo local government area of Oyo State, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
More on Nationwide with Ruth in Abuja. Ruth, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Adebola. For a gateway state like Kogi, which has boundaries with 9 other states, including the Federal Capital Territory, there is need to create an interchange that will enhance hitch-free vehicular movement. Now, this will become a reality with the clearing of sites for the construction of a flyover in Lokoja. Francis Udojo brings us the report.
This is the popular Ganaja Junction, Lokoja, a regular visitor to the state, especially during the Yuletide seasons, as well as the early morning and evening rush hours, to tell the difficulty in accessing this route.
Now, with the plan of government to create an alternative flyover, life will become easy for commuters, especially travelers from different parts of the country. The giant project, which has commenced with the clearing of unwanted structures and built to be completed before December this year, will not only enhance easy vehicular movement, but boost economic activities within the area.
Like around 3 o'clock, everybody want to pass to the homes or markets. You go see here, see hold up everywhere. Especially when you see big tanker come broke down here, you go find it difficult to load this road go out.
It's very terrible. Sometimes we take children to school, we hook up here and we are late.
The government should do alternative road in Adankolo to Gadumo and phase 1 to 200 units. So people coming from Barak will not come to Ganaja Junction.
It's a good one, at least to reduce traffic on this road.
Recounting several roads intervention projects ongoing in the state, the State Commissioner for Works and Housing, Abubakar Ohere, described the gestures as part of the high commitment and political will of Governor Yahaya Bello to reposition the state, emphasizing that the affected persons in the course of demolition of structures have been duly compensated by government.
This attention, though very costly, is rewarding because it's going to be a legacy project. It is going to last a long time.
We have settled with the government, no problem. At least this is the first time I'm hearing of overhead bridge in Lokoja.
It is hopeful for Nigerians, especially Kogites, to see the completion of the project. In Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
All right, that's Nationwide. We do appreciate your company, and let's keep the fight on, talking about against rape and rapists. I'm Ruth Aguela. Enjoy your evening.